Second point that I want to make, Mr. President, and it has not gotten a whole lot of attention, and that is the impact that this legislation will have on working people in terms of cuts in pensions. There are provisions in this bill, written in secret, which allow significant cuts in benefits for retirees who are members of multi-employer pension plans. As mentioned in the Washington Post in a recent article, quote, the language in this bill, would alter 40 years of federal law and could affect millions of workers, many of them part of a shrinking core of middle-income employees in businesses such as trucking, construction, and supermarkets, end of quote. Reuters mentions, and I quote, the centerpiece is a provision that would open the door to cutting current beneficiaries' benefits, a retirement policy taboo, and a potential disaster for retirees on fixed incomes, end of quote. What does that mean? When you go to work for a company, you get wages, you get benefits, but you also, in some cases, get a promise in terms of a pension. What you will get when you retire after 20 years, 30 years, 40 years of work. What this bill does is allow companies to renege on that promise. And my understanding that in some cases, the cuts in pensions could be draconian, talking about a 50% cut. So can you imagine somebody who has worked his or her entire life, expects to retire with a certain level of income, and suddenly, after 20, 30, 40 years of work, suddenly wakes up in the morning and finds out that that promise has been cut in half. Wow, that is awful. That is totally awful. And I remember back, as the American people do, that when Wall Street, the CEOs of Wall Street, engaged in illegal and reckless behavior, which drove this economy into the worst recession in modern history, impacting millions and millions of people's lives. What happened to Wall Street? Well, Congress bailed them out. Congress bailed out the folks on Wall Street whose criminal action cost the recession. And now you have working people who have done nothing wrong except work their entire lives, 10, 20, 30 years, and through no fault of their own, they're not getting bailed out. They're going to see a 50% reduction in their pensions. That is unacceptable. And that opens it just opens up a future in terms of pensions, which I think are very frightening for the American people.